Happy Monday. It's week 9, recovering a sense of compassion. So this week finds us facing the internal blocks to creativity. It may be tempting to abandon ship at this point. Don't. We will explore and acknowledge. You don't need me to read it to you. I fear I need to start bug spraying when I come out here because the bugs are bad now that we've had some rain. It is 4th of July week, 250th birthday week, right? And I'm here in Pennsylvania, and we are really doing it up big here as the birthplace of the United States. So there's so many things going on. I do got to say that it's also 4th of July week, which means fireworks week, and I got to tell you, I'm typically not a party pooper, but I am a fireworks boo-booer, right? I know that some people love fireworks. My older sister loves fireworks, but personally, I am not a fireworks kind of gal for 2 reasons mostly. One of which also is so sad because I think Brad really loves fireworks, and I'm like, but the 2 main reasons I don't like fireworks is because I am such a noise baby. Fireworks are so loud. I really don't like the noise. And yes, I do have earplugs, and if we see any fireworks, I will be sure to wear them. But the other thing is like kind of crunchy of me, of like, we're literally shooting off bombs into the air. And I know we don't do it that often, so that's why I'm not like yucking anyone's yum too much, but like, it's just hard to not think about, right? Especially like if you've ever sat under the fireworks as they're coming down, you could feel the like debris falling on you, and you're like, this is what we're doing, I guess. I don't know. I can understand the beauty of them. I can understand the oohs and ahs. I do appreciate the community of them, right? Like fireworks bring people together. We all come together. We ooh and ah the same thing. Shared experiences are very important. The third secret thing that is about fireworks is that I like to be in bed by no later than 9:30, and it's summer. It's not really dark enough to shoot off fireworks till 10 p.m. So I'm just a lame person. I fear, and it's a nighttime activity. Not to say that other people can't enjoy fireworks. It's funny because when Brad was little, like his first like dream job was designing the Disney fireworks show. Like that's what he wanted to be when he grew up, which is funny because now that I have seen a drone light show, which is very fireworks-esque, I think about how Brad would be great at that, right? And maybe that's like, I don't know how you get into it, right? But I think that he would really enjoy that, right? We are very close to the end of June. We only have about a month left with The Artist Way if I can keep up on the tasks every week. So it feels like things are coming to a close. It's funny because yesterday when I was doing week 8's like journal work, I noticed that I only have like 2 pages left in that notebook. So I'm gonna need a new notebook there. My morning pages only is like a quarter maybe left. So I'm gonna need a new notebook for my morning pages soon. So that is interesting. So there's just a lot of things that feel like they're kind of coming to an end here. So I don't know, is that serendipity, or what are we calling it? Synchronicity? Every week it's like, did you experience any synchronicity this week? And I'm like, I don't know, man, I'm barely surviving. I'm taking things 1 hour at a time. I do have to say that I think we do slow down ever so slightly towards the end of June and August. But it's only slightly, right? Like we have social media clients, so that means we're always doing content. And, you know, there's a lot of things that happen in the fall that really should be set up in August. So, but I don't feel like it's as like boom, 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 boom. I will say today is very busy. All of that to say, today is very busy for my day job, and particularly, right? Most of the rest of the week is pretty light because it's the holiday week. People aren't really having trainings or meetings or what have you. But today I'm like prepping for things that are happening next week. And then I also have a session this afternoon. We're just trying to get it in before, I guess, we hit everybody going on vacation. So yesterday evening, as I was doing dishes and making dinner, I had on the new, also I realized that in the vlog so many times I say Olivia Rodriguez. That's not her name. The problem is that Brad calls her Olive Rodriguez, but her name is Olivia Rodrigo. So I'm really sorry for doing that so often. Yesterday, while I was doing dishes and making dinner, I put on the new Olivia Rodrigo album. And then after that was done, I put on just like my YouTube playlist. I don't know how to tell everybody this. I don't use Spotify. I also don't use YouTube Music. I started using the YouTube My Mix, I don't know, 10 years ago, whenever it started showing up on my homepage, and that is what I've been using for my music ever since. I really enjoy it. It works for me. I know it doesn't work for everybody. It almost gives me Pandora vibes, and I was like a big Pandora person, but I had this realization while I was standing there that even if I'm singing along, I'm not singing at the top of my lungs, right? I realized I don't know the last time that I really sang at the top of my lungs, because I feel like I'm so conscious or self-conscious about the fact that, like, I'm in an apartment, I have thin walls, right? Like, my neighbors can probably hear me from the hallway, or my neighbors next door can hear me, or my neighbors downstairs can hear me, and I don't want to like disturb them with singing at the top of my lungs, and I just don't know where can I experience that. I feel like even when I go to concerts now, right, like, I'm a little more conscious of like, oh, you know, I don't really go to arena shows because I feel like that's different too, but when I go to concerts, when I go to shows, like, I don't want to be singing loud and disturb the person next to me. So like, when do you get the chance to sing at the top of your lungs? But I will say, and I don't know what's gonna happen with this, is one of our clients is doing a karaoke night experience with another local business Thursday. So maybe that's my chance. It's funny because I used to live in a house, and like, I was a kid, right, with my parents. I did not have the self-awareness that I think I do now, but also it was just kind of expected, right? Like, it was just like me and my sisters all sang at the top of our lungs all the time, and I had a big backyard that like I could sing in, and I also was in chorus and musical, and even in college I did open mics, and we had a very, like, for being a community college, it was very artsy fartsy, right? Like, there was always somebody, I was talking to somebody about this recently, right? There was somebody always like at the piano, like, hey, do you want to like learn this harmony, or like, let's see how high up the scale we can go, or whatever, right? Like, there was always music around in a way that I think I really miss. And it's funny because I was looking for an old photo, and I was opening up some of my old hard drives and thumb drives, and I pulled up a couple of videos from Brad's marching band days, Brad's jazz band days, right, when he had like a solo and jazz band. And he was like, I miss that, right? Like, I miss having a place and a time and a space and a time to go play music with other people. And it's just so funny how that could be such a big part of your life, but like, nobody really knows in our current life that Brad was percussionist, Brad was a drummer, right? But if you talk to anybody that knew Brad 15 years ago, that was like a major thing people knew him as, right? And I think the same thing, I've talked about this a lot, like even in vlogs from like 6 years ago, you can hear me talk about how it's very interesting how everybody kind of only knows pieces of us, right? Like, some people only know me as like, we see as like the girl behind the camera. It's funny because I've had like people tell me like, oh, I don't recognize you without your camera, which is true, right? But like, a lot of people in my life now know me as we see the girl behind the camera, the girl who is directing people, the girl who's setting it up, asking you interview questions, right? And then there's like my Girl Scouts that know me as like the boating instructor, or like the girl who sings silly songs at the campfire, right? Like, especially when we first started camp, I was like the girl, I was like the leader that was like teaching them how to like do backflips with each other. We also used to make this like rope bridge, and I would be like the spotter for the rope bridge. I was like the girl like encouraging you to get up there and face your fear, and I'm here for you. So it's very interesting, like, how people may perceive you. And I don't really think that anybody gets the full picture in adulthood, right? In your adolescence, I feel like everything you're doing is so loud and so out there. You can like be all of these things to all these people, but it's so interesting, right? Like, I've never enjoyed this whole topic of like niching down, right? Niching, if you will. I have never really subscribed to that practice, right? Like, I like a lot of things. I'm a multi-passionate person. But it is interesting the perspective I give, right? For so long, people were like, oh, Sam doesn't like to speak in front of people. And I was like, who started that rumor? But it wasn't that. It was just everyone was used to seeing me behind the camera, and they just assumed, and I think I talked about this a couple weeks ago, right? I kind of had to kill that version of me that did like to be in the spotlight to get people to take me seriously as a videographer. I mean, now I'm out here in the woods talking to myself. I also don't experience shame in the same way I feel like other people do. Like, Brad is like, you know, that was embarrassing. I was like, oh, I thought it was just another day. I thought it was just like whatever. But like, I don't know. I've said a lot of things. I don't know if any of them make sense. I don't know if I've had a linear train of thought since I started talking. But I do know that I need to keep walking because I need to be back at my desk by 8:15 the latest to get on my first call of the day. And then I have calls basically for the whole day. So I need to experience the outside while I can. It's so dangerous going outside when it's so nice out because now I don't want to go back inside. At my Wendy's, I did indeed actually have a productive day. I started to try to vlog outside and I was kind of like, it's so loud out here. The wind is blowing, the cars are out. One, it's so gorgeous outside. It's probably like 85 degrees, but it's not humid. And that is a dangerous thing to have that knowledge of because I was hoping to keep working this afternoon. And now I know what it's like out there. It's a tough sell. I guess I could just do the work today and then tomorrow I could really enjoy the outdoors and enjoy the day. I got myself a little Wendy's. They're doing like a Minion takeover. So I'm going to enjoy my Wendy's. I have about 30 minutes before my broadcast. And I'm going to do that. Enjoy. I also have the realization that I'm really behind on my YouTube subscriptions because I was so busy last week. So I think I'm going to watch a little something and eat my Wendy's. .30 on the dot. I just wrapped up my broadcast. I thought it went pretty smoothly. There's a couple hiccups, but like, I don't know. Sometimes it's hard because it's just virtual and that's just like how it goes. I'm also a very critical person, so I think that is also just a me problem. Turning off my mice. I'm shutting down my computers. Well, my leading edge computers. And I am saying to myself, do not get up, sit here and edit. And then I can go enjoy the outside. So I'm going to edit for a little bit. Try to get this edit done that I need to do for a client. And then maybe we'll go for another little walk. Or maybe not even a walk. Maybe I'll just go to the park and read week 9 at the park. Because it's so nice out. I do think we're under heat advisory. So I think it's really hot out. But I don't know, man. It's summer. It's supposed to be hot, right? I'm out a little bit later than I wanted to be, but it's still, it's truthfully much nicer out now than I'm sure that it was, I don't know, an hour ago. But the sun is going down. I was hoping to catch a glimpse of the full moon, but unfortunately it feels like the clouds are rolling in. So we shall see, but there's lots of lightning bugs out here. So I think I'm gonna sit outside for a little bit and just watch the lightning bugs, but not too late, because I will accidentally be out here in the dark. There's some bats around. There are lots of critters. I saw a skunk run across the street. I did not take a video of it, but there was this buck literally eating grass, like next to, like touching the person's siding of their house. And I was like, there's not enough grass out here for you. You have to eat the grass. It's like sitting right here at this person's home. It's kind of funny, but what a beautiful evening. I wish I had a backyard or a porch to hang out on, but instead I'll hang out at the backyard that is the baseball field. It's so warm out. I have actually been like walking and working, which I know I'm not supposed to be doing, but I've had a very productive walk. I've like responded to a lot of texts and emails and sent a couple emails and sent a couple texts and follow-ups and all the thing, and I know I'm supposed to be looking up and not at my phone, but listen, it's much better to do these things while I'm out here walking and sweating and enjoying the outside, because these are all things that I had to do and I was gonna do them inside, right? But why not do them while I'm outside? But I do fear I have to go home soon. I've been out here for an hour. Like, I have written a lot of things. I've been doing a lot of things. Lots of things on my mind, most of which are not work related. Not WEC or leading edge related, I should say. I don't know. So it's Tuesday. I read week 9 last night, and there's a lot of things in this week's chapter that I feel like I already came to the conclusion of, right? I made a whole video about how my breakthrough was fear, and this week it's like, we got you. Your laziness isn't laziness, it's fear. And sometimes I do think I'm just lazy. Like, I think that occasionally there is just some laziness of like not wanting to do things and then not doing them. I think sometimes there is like overwhelm and burnout and fear and whatever, but I think generally speaking, the reason my apartment looks the way it does is not enough room and laziness. So something that's really interesting is I have been trying to watch other people's Artist Way, like videos or vlogs or whatever, and what I'm finding is that when everybody else is talking about the Artist Way, I have to move. The sun is too warm here. I should be in a pool. Should we buy our Camel Beach season passes today? When other people are doing their Artist Way journey and vlogging it or videoing it or whatever, making content out of it, most of the time they're just like telling the viewer what the activities are or what like the key messages are. They aren't actually like sharing any of their insights or findings or how the week affected them. And I'm finding that to be kind of annoying. Like, I want to feel how other people are feeling going through this. I've already read the book. I don't need a recap on what the things are, right? Like, I want to know. So this week, one of the activities is finally rereading your morning pages and like doing it with like highlighters and like another notebook. And I want to know what it felt like for other people to do that. I want to know if I feel similarly. But instead it's just like, and this week the theme is fear and the activities are this. And I'm like, am I just not finding the correct content for this crazy journey, right? I don't know. But what I do know is that I also am not the person doing that either. I think that I am somewhat, but also the vlogs are just much more of like my life, and not just the Artist Way. It just happens to be, I think, maybe like the thing keeping me coming back every week. So I don't know. Lots of people do the Artist Way multiple times, and I think that like the reason I did the Artist Way this time is because I was feeling in particularly lost, right? I just feel like I didn't have a direction. I didn't know what I wanted out of this one precious life that I have, and I was hoping that the Artist Way is going to give me some clarity. You know, we're 11 weeks in. I don't know if it's quite giving me clarity, but I do think it's giving me some tools that I'm enjoying. I think that if I were going to do the Artist Way again, I would want either like a project or a specific goal that I was working towards, right? Like, I want to make a short film, or I want to get this award, or I want to get this like title or role or whatever. Like, I think the Artist Way is much better at like helping you go towards artistic goals, maybe not whole life goals. And maybe that's a hot take. Maybe that's not true. Maybe I just have not been putting my full gusto behind it. But it's just something that I've been thinking about, especially the last couple chapters, right? Like, I think the Artist Way would be so beneficial if you are writing an album, or if you're writing a script, or if I was trying to direct a movie. Sometimes for the activities, it feels like I'm like doing it wrong, because like I am talking about like business goals or like life goals. It's like, what's one of your goals? And it's like, I want to be a homeowner. And sometimes like the practices that it has you do not really align quite as well. I made a quiche this morning for breakfast, a zucchini quiche. It was like half my grandma Margaret's recipe and half I do what I want. And it was a delight. And now I could have quiche probably for like the next 2 days. So what a joy. What I need right now though, I fear, is Gatorade. Some pickle juice. Oh, I have pickles in the fridge. That's what I'm gonna eat when I get home. Okay, so we are at the end of Tuesday. I did not have the most productive work day ever, but I did enjoy myself and I did get some cleaning done and I did get done what needed to get done. I hope the microphone isn't too bad. I think this is a big thing with this week in the Artist Way, right? Talking about how like fear stops us from starting, right? Like, and if we want to position this in the most like stupid way, I don't know, the most day-to-day experience for me is sometimes I think, especially with our social clients or sometimes when we have a bigger edit, like I won't even take a few minutes to do one post or to at least just like make the project because I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to like do a whole month's worth of content, or I don't know if I can do the entire edit or whatever, right? Like instead of just taking it one step at a time, right? Like, hey, I'm just gonna open up the project file and I'm gonna import the footage and let like the audio peak start generating, right? Like, why can't I just start with that? Why do I have to be like, oh, I don't know if I have time to do everything, right? Like, I let the fear of like being intimidated by having to do a month's worth of content stop me from making one post, right? And I don't want to be living in a world where like I'm always behind on social content, but also it's not the end of the world if I don't have the next 2 months mapped out. So I am gonna enjoy the last hour or so of daylight and continue the journey. Hello and welcome back to my disaster kitchen. I'm making breakfast. So this week we are rereading our morning pages and I started today. It's Wednesday. I really should have started on like Sunday because I think it's gonna take a while. I made it through like, I don't know, 10 days I think, and I was like, all right, that's quite enough. We'll come back to this later. But I do feel like I'm noticing patterns and interesting insights. And one of the insights is not necessarily about like what I was writing, but how I was writing. And somehow my handwriting has gotten a teensy bit better. I've never had good handwriting. Never in my life have I had good handwriting, right? However, what I have noticed is that my handwriting is definitely more legible and neater than when I first started, right? My handwriting today is so much better than my first 20 pages, right? Like, and it'll be interesting to see like when does that change happen, because again, I'm not somebody who's ever had like great handwriting, but I am definitely not writing, especially handwriting, as much as I was when I was in high school, when I was in college. I'm on a computer all day, right? So like I am typing, and yes, I am like a handwritten person. Like I've always had like a planner and I keep a paper notebook, right? But I'm never writing 3 pages at a time for the most part anymore. So that has been a very interesting observation. There's lots of observations I also have, but I want to give myself the grace of reading the rest of the pages, or at least reading another good chunk of pages before I judge myself too much. But the handwriting thing is very interesting. Something else I meant to mention yesterday in my morning pages is this thing I wrote down. Sometimes when I'm doing my morning pages, my mind is like a classroom full of kids. Many overlapping voices say, here's a thought, write this down. And sometimes they're impatient and can't wait their turn. So when I don't call them first, they pout and I forget what they shared with me. I wonder how Julia feels about momentum. She feels strongly about enthusiasm. I wonder how she feels about it, or does she just think it's synchronicity or serendipity or whatever? Anyways, I'm gonna eat breakfast now. Talk soon. Okay, so the realest talk is I'm out here shooting some Conjured stuff. I don't know if you can see right there. But I just turned around and look at these guys. Look at these mushies. Hi, babies. Hello. They're beautiful. It's supposed to be 100 degrees today, so that's why I'm out here so early, trying to get things done before it gets too hot.
We're so good in having fun.
having some fun with my Evo wide Instax camera, doing some double exposure shots and also some just like film looking shots. But then I'm also of course taking extra shots with my R6 with the 85 lens on. I wish I brought my handy cam. I meant to grab it, and maybe I'll run back home and grab it here after I do this first round of shots. But it's very fun, it's very cute. I'm on this like really beautiful mossy rock back there that I've just been dreaming about shooting on, I feel like for weeks. Like, why did I take this long? But I'm gonna get back to it, and maybe I'll go back home and grab my handy cam to do some more photos. I think I have this idea, I don't know if I'm gonna keep this in, but I have this idea where like I'm using the handy cam and then like we zoom in and we know how the handy cam looks, like it's grainy, it's dirty, whatever, and then I wipe the lens, and then the reveal is with the R6 and like a super crisp, clear shot of the product. So it's just a thought. I don't know how I'd do it, but I think I could pull it off. It's not even 9 in the morning. I'm sweating so bad. So I just took the photos on this rock over here. Look at how beautiful it is. The way that I had to stand kind of on this dead log, my calves are on fire. So I'm not looking forward to like trudging all of this stuff back over to get out of the woods, but I kind of think a lot of those photos are very fun. I'm just going to double check and make sure I have all 5 products, and then I'm going to continue walking through the woods, and if I see another spot that I feel like is magical, I'll stop and take a photo or two. I think I'm going to run home really quick and grab the handy cam, and maybe I'll like leave some stuff at home. Like I won't take my full backpack, I'll just take like what I need, and then maybe we'll try to get back out here, and we'll grab a water because I am sweating. I'm also going to grab a hanky because it's just incredibly warm out here, and who knew that standing with like your tiptoes up on this log could make your calves hurt so bad. Okay, so this is the shot that I want right there on the bench, and like I would zoom in and then I could get closer and wipe the lens, and then it's the reveal, right? Look how pretty the sun is. I lied, my handy cam only has like 1 bar of battery in it, so I'm gonna charge it up, and then maybe either tonight or tomorrow morning we'll do that shoot. But I'm gonna go get in the shower, and then we need to get packed for our next shoot, which is at 11. It's currently the surface of the sun outside. We went to our first shoot. We are gonna leave soon to go to our next meeting. I guess technically second shoot for me, right? I did the Conjured stuff first thing this morning, and then I went to Cluck You. The heat has me feeling though totally exhausted. It's so hot out there. Thankfully we live in a temperature controlled box, so it is very comfortable in my apartment, but the outside is quite warm, and even just being out there for a little bit, I don't know, the heat really takes a lot out of you. But time to go grab my planner and my notebook and my laptop case, so this way I'm ready for the next meeting. It's so crazy when you can see the humidity in the air. We are truly in a summer haze. I should have gotten out in here an hour ago. It is Thursday morning. It is already so much hotter than yesterday morning, and it's humid. You could literally see the humidity in the air, like if you talk about like hazy summer days. But it should make for better videos because the bench that I'm going to film at is currently in a little bit of a haze. So let's get to it. Okay, so unfortunately, because I came from the AC out into the swamp, everything is fogging. So I fear it's just gonna take a second for everybody to like kind of get up to temperature. I need to bug spray a little. The gnats are crazy.
We turn sidewalks into stage. Girls, sing out loud, forget the age. We make jokes, tonight is gone. Girls, life's a party, come along. City lights or barefoot sand. We rule the world with one hand.
Okay, last soap. I am sweating profusely. But we're doing it. I should have had water before I came outside. The haziness is crazy. I just can't get any of my cameras to quite like look crisp because the air is not crisp. The air is quite damp. But last product, and then I want to take one photo out here of the full collection, but then we can go back inside. Time for me to go hit the showers. Listen, if I stand still and I'm in the shade and I'm sweating so I'm wet and there's a breeze, sure. But it's so humid, it's so crazy that you can see the humidity in the air. Time for me to go back to the AC.
Let me up, we're gonna have a real bad.
I don't know how loud this is gonna be, but truthfully, I got this trifold for my Girl Scouts. Like, I bought a bunch of them because they needed them for a project. And simple solutions like that we don't think of. I was like, this is the best like white box to use for quick photos. Like, you just pop it up, you don't have to like worry about standing it up on anything or clamping it to anything. And then it has like built-in little reflectors, so like for small products I could leave it right here and then it just sets up and it's so good. So I have to break it down now because I just finished shooting, but just a thought that I had while I'm standing here. Okay, happy Saturday, happy 4th of July, I guess, if you celebrate that sort of thing. I'm outside. We had crazy storms last night that comes with the heat, and once again you can see the humidity in the air. It's already pretty warm out for being like 9 in the morning, and I have a little bit of a tickle in my throat. Brad had a little bit of a summer cold this week where his like throat hurt, his nose was running, and I'm worried that he's given it to me, but also it could just be allergies, right? Like, it's very humid out here. You could like feel it in your lungs when you breathe in and the air feels like damp, but it is far more bearable than it's been the last few mornings, I do gotta say. And I think the rain really helped cool it out. The rain really helped cool it down last night. The bugs are just crazy with the rain and everything else, so I feel myself getting eaten. I want to say the next 2-ish weeks are still busy. I was really hoping that this week was going to be light, and then I feel like we shot a lot this week between Cluck You, SVPA, Conjured, final shoots, and like having some like pop-up events. I do just feel like I did a lot of videography this week, much more than I was expecting, because I was expecting to do very little, if I'm being honest with ourselves, because I didn't really have anything on my calendar for this week if you would have asked me last Saturday. But it is the 4th of July. I don't really have too many big plans. With all of the shooting I've been doing, I now have a even crazier backlog of editing. Also, unrelated to anything at all, I'm wearing a skort, just like, I think it might be Danskin or something. I hate when skorts don't have good enough shorts underneath. Like, if I'm gonna be honest, I may be treating myself to another Papa Lottie's skirt situation, because her skirts have really good shorts that don't like ride up or bunch up or whatever, right? Like, this is a very cute skirt. It has pockets. It does the job, but I feel like I need another pair of shorts underneath it, and I don't like that. But let's talk more about the Artist Way, and we'll continue that conversation indoors. Okay, so one of the tasks this week for the Artist Way is to reread your morning pages, and I finished one journal, and truth be told, I'm almost through my second morning page journal, but I just finished rereading my first journal from when I originally started the morning pages, and here are a couple quotes from Sam in my morning pages. I wish there were 3 of me. One for work, one for fun, and one for housework. When is the break? When is the day off? When does rest come? When I'm dead. I think that's so funny. The reoccurring themes in especially this book, where I was first starting out, are I didn't get enough done, and then I go to list all the things that I've done, and like I did an insane amount of work that day, at least in my retelling, and I never feel like it's enough. I also am constantly behind, which anybody who's watching the vlogs knows that that's also true. And there's a lot of things I want, and there's things that I keep talking about in this journal that I just need to do, right? Like, why do I keep like thinking about it? I just need to do some things. And there are some things that I wrote down in this journal that like I wrote down a bunch of times and I did take action on. So that's cool too. I do think sometimes the artist way is a little bit too retrospective, right? Like at some point reading these, I was like, I don't feel so good about this. Like, I feel like I've moved past a lot of these things and I'm revisiting them in a way that like I wish that I weren't, right? Like I've moved on past these obsessive thoughts for a couple of things, and now I'm just like bringing it back to the surface, remembering things that I've moved on from. And I've heard people also say this about like the first time they do the artist way, like they really love it, and then they try to go back to it again, and it's like there's so much like, what would your perfect childhood look like if you had a better childhood? Like, what would it be? Or, you know, who were your childhood bullies that blocked your artist? And I'm not saying that those things are not useful, but especially for like doing it again, how useful can they be if you've already kind of like done the creative healing, you know? So that is just some thoughts. I'm going to start reading my more recent journal. Happy Sunday. Another week almost ending for the Artist's Way. Week 9? Is that what week I'm on? The last few days we've had a bunch of crazy weather storms, like just insanity. We had one on Friday that unfortunately a tree branch fell and landed on our car, and and at first we were like, oh, it's just scuffed, and then went back out yesterday and was like, oh no, that tree branch shattered the brake light cover. So that's a fun thing. But look at like some of the damage done around here. I don't know why I always start vlogging around that bend as I'm going uphill. But just lots and lots of damage, and we're due for some more storms this afternoon, unfortunately. I mean, fortunately for me. Oh, I didn't see that. Oh my god. Okay, so this is crazy. This tree that you saw me real time see. Wow, that's incredible. I probably shouldn't walk under it, right? Okay, I don't even remember what I was saying. I think I was talking about the fact that the tree branch busted up our car. Not a big deal. We just have to now deal with that. This morning, I woke up and I got a month and a half worth of content done for one of our clients. Like, just sat down, edited, wrote captions, put it all into the calendar, sent it over for approval. And I feel like maybe it took me 2 hours all in all, maybe, which is just so crazy because I feel like I have been dreading like doing content, or like I'm so behind on content, and all I need to do is lock in, but I don't know how to make myself get into that flow state. Like this morning, I worked in bed, which is not really a thing that I love to do. And maybe it was because I didn't like start off with a walk. I started off with at work and got it out the way. And now I'm here enjoying this beautiful morning. It's a little humid, but it is so much cooler than it's been. And truthfully, I feel like I've acclimatized to the humidity pretty quickly. So I'm going to keep enjoying for a few more laps before I need to go back home and continue hopefully getting back into that flow state. Hello and welcome to my bathroom. I'm having an insanely productive day, but it's almost 5 o'clock and I'm starting to feel like it's Sunday. I haven't done my Artist Way tasks and I don't know. But I just washed my shower liner, so I'm gonna put it back up while we talk. Also, I don't know if I'm a freak for doing this. I do put my shower liner directly into the washing machine. It's not quite cloth, but what I do know is that it does make it nice and clean, and I can just scrub the like bad spots, right? Like I don't have to like wipe down the whole thing, you know. I am soaking wet though, because if you can imagine, it holds on to lots of water. So I've just been editing and scheduling and writing copy and all the things, and now it's 5 o'clock, and I was like, dang, there goes my Sunday. I'm so upset. But it's okay. It's all right, everybody. What a relief this will be to start off the week, where I'm not like, oh my God, I have so much to do. I have so much to do. I have gotten a lot done. Is there still a lot to do? Always and forever. But I have gotten so much accomplished. I'm going to keep going. I think I was like, oh, part of me was like, oh, you should go do your Artist Way tasks. And yes, maybe I should, but also it will behoove future me so much if I just sit down and make like 2 or 3 more pieces of content and get it out into the ether, wherever it needs to go, whether it needs to be sent for approvals or whatever scheduling. It'll make me feel so much better tomorrow. And then the night is still young. It's still bright out there. We can most certainly still do some Artist Way stuff tonight. I don't really know what I'm saying. So I'm going to go back to editing some more videos. I think I'm going to end the vlog here. Another insane week where the Artist Way was not the priority. Which is such a shame, but it is what it is, right? I will get it done, but I'm so happy, proud of myself. I don't know what it is. I'm so grateful that I was able to get into a flow state today and just churn out some content. Let's go. What a relief. Hope everyone has a great day, and I will see you in the next one.